Good morning, everyone. The topic for our discussion today is headings. So, we will see what headings are and how headings can be implemented, and also how do headings help people with disabilities. Headings, starting from H1 to H6, are structural elements in HTML that defines the hierarchy and organization of content on a web page. The H1 represent the main headings, while H2 to H6 are used for subheadings, helping break down content into logical sections. And proper use of headings improve readability, SEO, and overall user experience. So, how do headings help people with disabilities? For screen reader navigation, people using screen readers can navigate through content by jumping between headings, allowing them to skim and find relevant information quickly. And for keyboard accessibility, headings provide landmarks, making it easier for keyboard users to navigate large amount of content efficiently. People with cognitive disabilities, well-structured headings help users with cognitive impairments understand content flow, reducing cognitive overload, and improving comprehension. For visual impairments, users who enlarge text or use high contrast modes benefit from clear, well-defined headings that separate sections clearly. And here are some of best practices for headings. Provide headings for each page. Use heading elements H1 to H6 for all headings. Don't use heading element for text that is not a heading. Instead, use CSS to change font size or styles. Ensure headings are meaningful, concise, and describe the topic or purpose. So, to summarize, for improving content structures, heading creates a logical reading order, making content easier to follow, enhances WCAG compliance. Proper heading structure supports WCAG 2.1 AA guidelines for accessible web content, and also boost SEO and usability. Search engines and users both benefit from properly structured headings, improving content discoverability. Some of the best practices: H1 followed by H2 and then H3, and avoid skipping levels for better accessibility and readability. All right, let's see how we can implement these headings into our page here. So this is our page where we left off in our last session. We have an H2 here, and the H1 is our logo text. So the H1 is the main title of the page. The H1 is the main heading of the page, and it represents the overall topic of the website. And there should be only one H1 per page to maintain a clear structure for assistive technologies. And if I go back to my code here, so we have an H1 defined here, and then there is an H2 in the main. So each major section has an H2 representing the primary topics, and in this case we have an H2 here. So let me implement different sections and see how H2 and H3 and H4 can be implemented in various sections. So to get started, what I will do is let me create another section in here under the main. Let's see, section 1, and I want to name these as introduction. So in this, I'll create another section. I will give an h2. Let's call this as what is web accessibility, right? And then a p tag within this. Websites and applications are usable by everyone, including disabilities. So what I want now is I want to create another section 2, and name this as importance of accessibility. In here I want to create a section, give an title here because this is another section we are starting. So I want to give an h2. Why is accessibility important, for example? So within these sections I can have an article, and the article, now we are within this article, it will be an h3 now, and h3 will be, for example, legal compliance. Another p tag, right? So now I can have another article in here and have another h3, right? Let's say experience. Some text I'm just writing, websites provide all users including those with temporary or situational disabilities. Alright, so I have two articles created within this section, and I've given the title of these articles in an h3. So that concludes my section for section 2, importance of accessibility. What I can also do is now to move forward with our headings, I can create another section called section 3, best practices. And here, since I'm starting another section, I can go back and give an H2 again. Right? So whenever I have another section, there's could be article in there. So another article will be an H3. Use proper headings and a P tag with ensure structure or content is structured logically using H1, for example. Let's do this. H1 and all right, do LT H6 right, elements in order. So so I have one article in this section 3. If I can have many number of articles with within this H2, and then those articles will be H3 again. So I have, if I go with another article and H3 there, screen reader users, and like I said, you can have many number of articles, but each article should have subheadings of an H3 within that, because that is defining the subtopic. Should be operable using the keyboard. Let's see. All right, so that completes our section 3. If I want to create another section called section 4, and in that I can have another ID and define that as an H2 for some other topic. All right, so let's leave that here now for 3 sections. If I go back to my page and see, so I've got these sections over here, right? So this is what we have created, and it's just a matter of working on the CSS and trying to make it more friendly for people with disabilities. All right, so if I need to go back and do the what I want to do is just to make the text look a little bit bigger on this headings, I can go in and provide for all the H1, H2, and P, for example, font size, let's say 1.5 EM, and margin left 20 pixel. So this margin left will add space from the left of the edge, right? So that gives our text a bigger font. So this is how the proper heading structure has to be put in place when you're designing a page, or when you are trying to pass critical information to the user or the content on the page. All right. So in our next session, we will try to implement navigations properly, because right now I have just a nav and an A tag in here. So let us work on navigation link, and what I want to do is I also want to put these headings into proper navigation, so when I can provide an ID in each section, so when the user navigates, they should be able to go to each topic of the sections on a click of a button. So we'll look into that in the next session.